Hi guys, so good evening and welcome back to my magical world. It's me, Frostbite, and I'm back. So it's 11:27 in the evening right now. Today is August 20, Tuesday of the year 2024. So, what's up guys? So, I've missed you. Like, 'cause I keep on um you know, the movement of my life is so unpredictable. So it's like, I don't know, I don't know if I recharge or if I get exhausted. Like, the feeling is in between the weekend, you know? Last time, because I don't know. I can't, I can't fathom what happened there. Anyways, we are going to continue now. Um, Listen up. We're on to page 23. Tama ba? 23 na ba tayo? Yeah. We're on to page 23 and 24 of the book Mastery. So, dumating na din yung isa kong book, which is, I'm really excited. It's not a thick book, pero I think matagal pa natin yun matatakil. Kasi we have to finish this. So, isa-isa lang. So, halos sabay-sabay sila dumating eh. Basta dumating na siya. So, I'm gonna read it for you soon. I don't know kailan yung soon. Pag natapos na to. So, sa ngayon, makinig muna kayo sa akin. Okay, so, nilagay ko yung retainer ko kaya yung boses ko hindi siya at ease. Anyways, focus. So, for the angel's face, he experimented with his paints and mixed a new blend that gave it a kind of a soft radiance that expressed the angel's sublime mood. Okay, so to help capture this mood, Leonardo had spent time in the local church observing those in fervent prayer, the expression of one young man serving as the model for the angel. And finally, he determined that he would be the first artist to create realistic angelic wings. For this purpose, he went to the marketplace and purchased several birds. He spent hours sketching their wings, how exactly they merge into their bodies. So, he wanted to create the sensation that these wings had organically grown from the angel's shoulders and would bring it natural flight. As usual, Leonardo could not stop there. After his work was completed, he became obsessed with birds, and the idea brewed in his mind that perhaps a human could really fly. If Leonardo could figure out the science behind avian flight, now several hours every week, he read and studied everything he could about birds. This was how his mind naturally worked. One idea flowed into another. So Leonardo would certainly have recalled the lowest point in his life, the year 1481. The Pope asked Lorenzo de' Medici to recommend to him the finest artist in Florence to decorate a chapel he just had built. The Sistine Chapel. Lorenzo complied and sent to Rome all of the best Florentine artists, including Leonardo. They had never really gotten along. Lorenzo was a literary type, steeped in the classics. Leonardo could not read Latin and had little knowledge of the ancients. He had a more scientific bent to his nature, but at the root of Leonardo's bitterness at this snob was something else. He had come to hate the difference forced upon artists to gain royal favor, to live from commission to commission. He had grown tired of Florence and the court politics that reigned there. So, yung politika talaga, no? Ever since. It sucks. Most of the time. Not all the time naman. So he made a decision that would change everything in his life. He would establish himself in Milan. So I want to go there also. Can you guys take me there? And he would devise a new strategy for his livelihood. He would be more than an artist. He would pursue all of the crafts and sciences that interested him: architecture, military engineering, hydraulics, anatomy, sculpture. So marami siyang no, interest, like myself before. But now I just need to be a billionaire. So for any prince or patron that wanted him, he could serve as an overall advisor and artist for a nice stipend. His mind, he decided, worked best when he had several different projects at hand, allowing him to build all kinds of connections between them. Continuing his self examination, Leonardo would have thought back to one to the one great commission that he accepted during the new phase of his life: an enormous bronze equestrian statue in, what was that? Wait lang. I'll just cut that part, okay? So his mind, he decided, worked best when he had several different projects at hand, allowing him to build all kinds of connections between them. Continuing his self examination, Leonardo would have thought back to the one great commission that he accepted during the new phase of his life: an enormous bronze equestrian statue in memory of Francesco Sforza, the father of the current Duke of Milan. The challenge for him was too irresistible. It would be of a scale no one had seen since the days of ancient Rome, and to cast something so large in bronze would require an engineering feat that had baffled all of the artists of his time. Leonardo worked on the design for months, and to test it out, he built a clay replica of the statue and displayed it in the most expansive square in Milan. It was gigantic, the size of a large building. The crowds that gathered to look at it were awestruck at its size, the impetuous stance of the horse that the artist had captured, its terrifying aspect. Word spread throughout Italy of this marvel, and people anxiously awaited its realization in bronze. For this purpose, Leonardo invented a totally new way of casting. Instead of breaking up the mold for the horse into sections, Leonardo could construct the mold as one seamless piece. Okay? So, using an unusual mix of materials he had concocted. So, and cast it as a whole, which would give the horse a much more organic, natural appearance. So, um, parang yung sculpting, this sculpture itself, when you do that, diba? Kailangan mo talagang maging extremely creative. And yun yung ginawa ni Leonardo. So, a few months later, however, war broke out and the Duke needed every bit of bronze he could lay his hands on the artillery. Eventually, the clay statue was taken down and the horse was never built. Other artists had scoffed at Leonardo's folly. He had taken so long to find the perfect solution that naturally events had conspired against him. So, pasensya na guys kasi not at ease when I'm wearing this. One time, even Michelangelo himself taunted Leonardo. You who made a model of a horse you could never cast in bronze, and which you gave up to your shame. And the stupid people of Milan had faith in you. He had become used to such insults about his slowness at work, but in fact, he regretted nothing from this experience. So, I think Parang ako lang yan. So, sobrang bagal ko guys kumilos when I wanted to do it. Kasi I usually, gusto ko planchado pag may ginagawa. That's something that I like, or I want, or I love. Okay? Pero yung field of work ko right now is just crazy. It kind of like makes you in a state of um like a machine, something like that. You know, ang hirap kasi man you mastered certain things, it's just you become like so fast. And you know me, I don't wanna waste a single time when I'm there. Kasi tingnan mo, hindi na ako makapag-film doon because I'm really busy. Nakakasar, no? But anyways, I'm here for you, so it's okay. So, wait lang. He had been able to test out his ideas on how to engineer large-scale projects. He would apply this knowledge elsewhere. Anyway, he didn't care so much about the finished product. It was the search and process in creating something that had always excited him. So, hindi yung outcome eh. Yung like, the process of doing it. The in-between. Yun yung pinaka-importante. It's just like life. The beginning and the end is really actually nothing, but what's in between them, it is all that matters, diba? So yeah, reflecting on his life in this way, he would have clearly detected the workings of some kind of hidden force within him. As a child, this force had drawn him to the wildest part of the landscape, where he could observe the most intense and dramatic variety of life. This same force compelled him to steal paper from his father and devote his time to sketching. It pushed him to experiment while working for Verrocchio. I really like that name. So it guided him away from the courts of Florence and the insecure egos and flourish among artists. It compelled him to an extreme boldness. The gigantic sculptures, the attempt to fly, the dissection of hundreds of corpses for his anatomical studies, all to discover the essence of life itself. So parang more of like digging and experiencing and maneuvering. Ano pa yung mga terminology, basta ganun, in order to really understand life. Sobrang nito, no? Parang theatrical, poetical type of person that always wanna learn something new, something exciting, something more, something that is not yet of our knowledge, like to dig deep. Okay, so seen from the vantage point, everything in his life made sense. It was in fact a blessing to have been born illegitimate. It allowed him to develop in his own way. Even the paper in his house seemed to indicate some kind of destiny. What if he had rebelled against this force? What if, after the Sistine Chapel rejection, he had insisted on going to Rome with the others and forced his way into the Pope's good grace instead of seeking his own path? He was capable of that. What if he had devoted himself to mostly painting in order to make a good living? What if he had been more like the others, finishing his work as fast as possible? He would have done well, but he would not have been Leonardo da Vinci. So, sobrang controversial nito taong to. Do you remember like when that movie was published? Was I think his life somehow has been documented, something like that. Basta kasi hindi ko naman napanood yung movie. I was in between business and enjoying life during those times. Yung pinanood siya sa cinema. So, ayan. Let's not talk about much about that. Basta yun, guys. If you don't know yet, you can watch it. Kasi ako, I wanted to watch it. But, yung time, again, inaano lang natin. We prioritize the priorities. Okay? So, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for helping me make this world a better place for all of us and for the future generations.